Right, in theory, it should be live. Oh, give me one more moment while I try to silence the double audio feedback for you there. There we go. Alright, that should clear a lot of it up. Yeah, okay, yep. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit late. I forgot that OBS had an update and it requires a little bit more input before the stream actually goes live. So it took me a minute to panic and get that squared away, so bear with me one moment while I try to get things further set up on my end. This is unfortunate for me to be starting myself so far behind. There we go. Alright. Everything should be good now. By the way, if you hear any noise in the background, I apologize. There is a fan running, and there's some more stuff going on through the house. We've been through all of that before. Anyways, Rigid, welcome to the stream. How are things going? Hopefully things are going well. And I will say, again, for those, and prominently Rigid, because he's the only one in here right now, but for those of you that were in the Discord and saw that I was going to be streaming yesterday, I apologize. I had absolutely drained myself the week before. Not the week, the day before, and completely was just shut down through the day, so had to end up moving it all through to today. Now, I don't know what I'm doing. Is it here? Supposedly there's a shop somewhere, and I have to... Okay, there it is. I was going to say, I have to look at some... I had to look this up. I had no idea what to do with the special berry that I got at the end of last stream. I actually had to look this up in between sessions, and all I saw was go to a shop and talk to a decoration, and I'm like, I don't know what decoration. So I'm glad it wasn't that hard to figure out. There's a dusty old decoration of some sort, mixed with all the daily goods and things. And it smells incredibly sweet. The decoration appeared to move. A little bit. Wow, I am having struggle bus moments within my brain. Hey Richard, how are things going? Hopefully things are going well for you. By the way, you too, hopefully you're able to fill me in on what's been going on, because I know we keep in touch more or less with the Discord, but I also know life is a complicated mess, and not everything gets brought up when big things happen. Just head to the plush in the shop. Yep, thank you very much for that, Rigid. Yeah, I specifically had to look this up, because there was no way I would have just figured that out. Rototototo. I love my EB phone. Ian, yo, Arvin here. I heard the news. You've been having all kinds of big adventures, huh, little buddy? School trip, studying abroad. What luck? Yeah, no, it actually has been pretty awesome. Yeah, man, I'm jealous to hear that. I wish I could have gone along too. Now that I think about it, it's been one crazy thing after another since you came to our school. Guess you've still been real busy lately, but, are things starting to settle down? I was thinking that if you have time, and, you know, only if you want, of course, maybe, I could come visit you at your house? Holy shit, are we going back home? How long has it been since there has been a Pokemon game where a part of the story is, by design, go back home? I can't even think of a game that makes that like a mandatory thing to do. I know in the early games they like give you little dialogue things like, oh hey, be sure to say bye to your mom before you're off, but I don't even remember if they did that in this one. But even, you know, just to be told go back home is kind of fun to see with the direction of it. Seriously? Ah, it's such a relief to hear you say that. And without even the tiniest hesitation. No, I hesitated because I stopped and said, yo, I get to go back home. So, I guess I'll come over. Your house is in Cabo Poco, right? I'll meet you out front. See you there. I did not see what that was, but you did pull it back, so I will leave that as be, Richard. Hopefully all things are going well, though. I'm doing good. Finally ordered the final 2 volumes of... What was that? Guys, one moment. My dog is going ballistics. I need to go silence her for a little bit. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to go for a full-on sprint after her again. She has been having arguments with the neighbors, let's say, and she gets real loud about it. Alright, let me check in here. Come on. There we go. Doing good. Finally ordered the final 2 volumes of the manga I've been ordering. So I'm just waiting for the last 3 to get here. I have picked up a new story as well. Let me make sure I grab it here for the... Alright, I have the books over on my coffee table, but they're turned the wrong way. I can't see the title right now. I only have the first 2 volumes. I think there's like 5 volumes right now. So, you know, I find it more enjoyable to get into a series early on in what's coming out because you're able to keep up on things. There is nothing worse when it comes to reading a series than picking something up, really enjoying it, getting like 6 or 7 volumes in, and then realizing for whatever reason that volume that you're missing, like, let's just go with the arbitrary 8. You get through volume 7, you go to buy volume 8, and you realize, for whatever reason, volume 7 is like $20, volume 8 is like $85 because it's out of print and so few copies are out there in the wild and you've got to get it used. So even though you're getting it used, it's still like an $80 book. And then you go to like volume 9 and all of a sudden it's $20 again. And it's like, why the fuck is volume 8 the one that's just absurdly hard to get? And no matter the series, you can avoid that with a little bit more control getting into something rather early on. Home? That's crazy. Pokemon games don't even give you a dad. I know you're busy, but I request attention and dog treats and belly rubs. No, she absolutely did require dog treats upon getting back inside. She does not get belly rubs. She does not get head pats. She made me sprint all the way down to the far side of the house, or far side of the yard, just to drag her butt back inside. But, you know I'm weak and you know she gets puppy treats. Alright, so I literally just fast traveled here, but I gotta go all the way back home. And what's terrible is, I know my home is somewhere, is somewhere down here, but I don't remember where. Which is kind of funny, because that is how uncommon it is to be sent back home in a Pokemon game. That's probably why I never responded so much with Ash Ketchum. Why I resonated so much with Ash Ketchum. Never met my dad either. Ash Ketchum was... Man, the story of Ash Ketchum is one that resonates with me in a weird way. Not for the same reason, but... There he is! Oi! Ian! Alright, sorry, I just want to make sure that it's not going to continue on it as I talk about this, because you know I can't divide my attention this late in the evening. Anyways, the situation with Ash Ketchum is so weird to me, because I resonated with him as, like, the kid who loved adventure, the guy that had a goal, wanted to excel for greatness. My problem with the adventure of Ash is I actually really liked that he was a screw-up at the beginning. I liked the character progression, and I liked the occasional moments of him still having to learn. You know, you get all the way through the Johto arc, and he's far more of a competent trainer. Then you get into Hoenn, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, he's still dealing with the handicapping, and he's still got things to learn, and he's still got a lot of life lessons to be exposed to. But, like, as a trainer, he was very clearly, you know, more quote-unquote competent, at least at that phase. And although I didn't like how they went about it in, like, the Black and White era, they still kind of leaned into that. Like, it was still a little bit more of a dial back and then a quick ramp up than I wanted to see per se. And of course, the whole situation with Snivy kind of rubbed me the wrong way, no matter how you look at it. But at least they did some good things, and like the story arcing was passable, and the topics and how they approach things, like Black and White, although it wasn't the part of the series that I stuck with, was the last arc of like, I can kind of see what's going on here and I like it. I will say I remain to this day a bitter, salty, underwear bunched up, riding high, full atomic wedgie butthurt over the whole relationship aspect that they went down with things. But to continue on to the avenue, once we hit the Sun and Moon reset, we hit that reset, and then we also said, oh, hey, by the way, a lot of the past adventures did happen, but we're still kind of just fuck all that, but don't fuck all that, but also here's some member berries that are and aren't really relevant. By the way, he's really dumb now, and he's really childish, and we're really leaning into the modern, you know, problem era, but also he's gonna be, for whatever reason, good enough to be the big champion at the end of it, just so that we can finally end it. It really felt heavily forced into a lot of bad keyhole stuff from that point on. And there are things in that arc that I do really like. It's just the overall story was like a slap in the face, and then a forced gagging on some cocks that you don't want to be nearby. We'll put it that way. So yeah, I have a lot of love and issues with the overall story. Now, I apologize for leaving you on this screen for so long, but you know I like having the conversations and the discussions and getting into the thoughts. So I apologize if that's going to bug anybody, but that's kind of how things are ran here. Also, any chance to stare at Nimona on screen is, you know, everybody's got to be a little favoritism towards that, right? She is, in my opinion, the poster child for the games in the greatest battle-hungry way she can. Ha! Figured I'd tag along. Hey there. Why is everybody here? Is this an intervention? And why is it my intervention and not Nimona's? Ian, this is my fault. Sorry. When I called you and said I wanted to come hang, well, these two overheard, and, well, we weren't just gonna let you hog the chance to visit Ian. One moment, guys, I apologize. Sorry, seasonal allergies still kicking my butt. Big reason I only ordered 2 of the, I'm not gonna say that series because, no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Big reason I only ordered 2 Durarara light novels. 1 or 2 volumes aren't anywhere I can find them. His dad just got lost on the way to the milk aisle. He'll find his way back home to the family eventually. Well, I mean, you know, wait. Let me dial that back. We did get a dad in a Pokemon game, and they turned around and made him someone you had to fight, which was kind of funny. Also, very relevant to the upbringing I had. So, you know, I will give the, oh man, what generation was that? Was that, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? I think that was Gen 3? But yeah, big props to that game, making it relevant, to my upbringing as well. Hey, welcome, play this new game. By the way, fight your dad. It's way more fun to roll together. You say that, but who wants a bunch of uninvited guests? That's just rude. I'm fine with it. The whole gang's together. I guess if you're fine with it, Ian, then I can't really complain either. Okay, listen up, you two. We're not allowed to cause any trouble for Ian and his mom. Got it? I failed to... Wait. Let me dial that back. 2 out of the 3 people here are not going to cause me any trouble. Penny is a wanted criminal. We have confirmed this. Penny is a cyber terrorist. So, I feel like the situation here is a very comical group. Battle hungry, just misunderstood with mommy and daddy issues, and then everybody's got to have the terrorist friend, right? Like that's just part of the group. That's just the standard group dynamic. Everybody needs a terrorist in the group. And if you don't have a terrorist in your group, congratulations, that's you. You bet. I don't know who you think you're educating here, but sure, whatever. Says the only one in the group that actually requires it. Gen 3, yeah. Everyone is surrounding Ian like he's a god among men. That really is our friend group. I don't know. Maybe I'm the terrorist in the friend group. I don't... Anybody else able to bail me out of that role? I did specifically let the the dynamic fall in place. No, wait, hold on. We do have somebody in Discord who historically has relevance to that, and I will not name drop because that is their story to tell, not mine, but I found my out. That was such a great meal. Can't believe we got all that after we barged in out of nowhere. Your mom cooking is so good, Ian. I'm not gonna lie, growing up, this is exactly where I was at. Like this is actually a standard conversation we had. So, not for my mother, which is kind of funny, but my father. My family dynamic growing up was such that my father was a working man and was forced into retirement despite his want to continue working based on medical leave. What he was doing was basically killing his body, and he wanted to keep doing it anyways because he was the kind of guy that just wanted to work himself to death. That was his personality. And my mother was kind of just doing whatever job she was doing based on where she was in life. And the situation was my father had to become, around early on in my upbringing, my father had to become the stay-at-home parent, and he became a very domesticated man in that sense. And my friends, so how do I expand on this? My father, when he was younger, his parents had a little bit of a shop that they had running as well, and a part of that was a restaurant. My father picked up a lot of old recipes, family recipes, historical relevant recipes, and of course just general broad spectrum appeal cooking knowledge, even at a young age. So when he stepped into that role, my friend group in my younger years would always want to come over just to eat whatever the hell he was cooking. So that is kind of a funny thing to see play out here. At least for me to latch onto and walk down memory lane a little bit. God amongst men, but I didn't believe in Arceus. And I am never going to pronounce it the other way, by the way. Gets labeled a heretic. Well, you've got options, you know. Either you can believe in Arceus, or you can be a one true believer in the Lord Helix fossil. There's no other in between. Going all in on atheism in the Pokemon world will get you branded as a result. Ian, a terrorist? I guess that explains why he's the bomb. Anyone else remember when Da Bomb was part of a slang? No, just me. I remember when Da Bomb was also a line in, God, what was it, like a DDR song or whatever? Right? And wait. That's not okay. we have just crossed a point of not okay in Pokemon. From what I understand in the fan-based Pokeverse, and I understand and see the potential tendency there, Penny is viewed as being within the group. If you're gonna fall into any of the discussions therein, Penny is either a lesbian or bisexual. And coming from that standpoint in the fandom, understanding that I am coming into this part of the story this late in the process, and whether you are engaged in that stuff or not, you have probably you have probably seen it in whatever peripheral viewing you are just by virtue of being a fan of Pokemon. So there's no way I'm going to avoid having that stigma coming into this line. And here's Penny actively sitting up here in my room with me, talking about my mom, saying she's pretty and that her brain literally glitched when she saw her. I'm sorry, Pokemon. The fuck you doing to me? I'm so glad she remembered me. And look at this huge room. Doesn't make you feel all boxed in like the dorm rooms do. It's super cute. Seriously. Almost too much for me to take. You know, as guys can have cute rooms too. There's nothing wrong with that. I quite literally have an entire chair dedicated to a pile of stuffed animals, and I am unapologetic about this. Yo, it's a Nintendo Switch. You have to tell me what games you've got on this thing. A little outdated given the relevance of the Switch 2 right now, which, by the way, I have some thoughts and opinions I want to share. But I'll get to those once we probably open up with the gameplay. Hopefully someone will remind me that I had opinions to share about it. I love this Squovit plush. This fluff is to die for. How's everybody doing? Anyone want dessert? Penny, I apologize. I forgot what our mother looked like, probably because the game has not made me go home in a while, but I apologize for what I said. I understand now. How's everybody doing? Anyone want dessert? I was thinking of bringing up some sweets. Sweets? Yes! No. Wait. Okay, I had to read the intention there. No way. We couldn't possibly ask for more food. We don't mean to be a hassle. I mean hassle. Man, everybody is thirsting for my mom. What is going on here? Oh, sweetie, no need to stand on ceremony here. Just make yourselves at home and relax. Yes, ma'am? Oh, and Ian, a letter came for you. It's from Kieran. Do you know a Kieran? About Kieran, there may or may not have been an emotional breakdown and some violence, but yes, I know a Kieran. My word, you have been making plenty of friends. Here you are. I'll bring those sweets up in just a few. I hope you'll all enjoy them. Even Nemona's just like, yo, I'm getting in on this. I used to have a stuffed animal collection myself before a problem with roaches Ooh. I do have a lot of new ones, though. Yo, I am sorry to hear that. I would be devastated having that happen to my set, but I do have a bunch of those, like, holiday edition Pokemon ones as a part of my collection there. But, like, it really is fairly mixed for a couple of reasons. No, Ian, don't say that about your mom. Sweet Home Alabama starts playing. Unironically, though, no, yeah, Sweet Home Alabama is a song that just slaps pretty well. You know the thirst is real when even Nemona gets in on it, and it has nothing to do with battling. Hold up, are we talking about baking sweets anymore? Like, what the hell is going on? Literally all of the girls in the scene all just ran after my mother. Your mom sure is nice, Ian. You're real lucky. Yeah, you know, let me step back and say, from Arvin's perspective, wow, Ian, you have a mom. Anyways, what about that letter? Aren't you going to at least open it up? Dear Ian, how are you doing lately? I took a leave from school, but I'm back at... Hold on. I took a leave from school, so I'm back in Missouri Town for a while. My sis came back with me too. I know we didn't get much chance to talk after everything that happened in the Underdepths. You know, my entire momentary lapse in just everything. I'd really like to catch up. Think you could swing by to Kitakami? Carmen would love to see you, I'm sure. Maybe you could bring your friends from Paldea too. I included plenty of tickets. Who is this Kieran guy? Some new friend or something? Well, look, I may or may not have certain look, Arvin, things happened over there in the Blueberry Academy. Not quite the direct location we're going, but, you know, relevantly tied to it. Kieran and I are in one thing, but you should probably know about a couple of the other people. What's with the weird hesitation? There's some kind of story there? Look, it's not my business. Ian, Arvin, you're not going to believe how good this stuff looks. I am further not okay with the fact that we are thirsting after my mother. I'm just saying, you could take these dialogue lines out of context with the understanding of everybody is thirsting after my mother, and all of these lines read very differently. My housemate just came back from a walk. He found a really expensive looking smartphone on the ground on the way there. He's looking around to see if he can find the owner. Yo, respect for him trying to do the right thing with it. There's too much to carry upstairs. Come on down here and eat. Again, the game has intentionally put my head in the gutter once again, and it knows full damn well what it's doing. Sheesh, that Nimona. Hasn't she ever heard of an inside voice? Well, to be fair, I am terrible about that too. I yell a lot. But I guess we'd better... Well, I shouldn't say yell. I get loud. Just... Yelling is very specifically different. But I guess we'd better go, or she'll just keep on shouting. I return to the idea of this being an intervention. Oh, my poor gut. I feel like I'll burst if I eat another bite. I think what you're trying to say is, thank you so much for feeding us. It was really delicious. Right? I'll help with the dishes and stuff. Oh, aren't you the sweetest thing? But no need to lift a finger. You kids just take it easy. Thanks, ma'am. You're the best. At least Nimona's got manners. I'll give her that. Unlike this one. Look, we've already verified which one of the friend group is a noted terrorist. Why are you looking at me? Say, Ian, about that letter. What was that place your new pal mentioned? Kitakami or something? You really gonna go meet this Kieran guy again? I need help. Wait, you going somewhere? Oh, did we miss something? Something good? Spill it. I remember a teacher had told a student who found a working phone that he could have gotten arrested if he didn't turn it in. Even if he just found it. So the student gave it to the teacher to do that. So, not just the right thing, but definitely something that's a good idea to do. I don't think you're gonna be arrested for not turning a phone in. People lose their phones all the time, and unfortunately nothing ever comes of it, especially ones that are able to be so easily factory reset. This is also a good idea why you should probably have a little bit more than a simple swipe on your phone. But that doesn't guarantee a fix for everything either. But you know, always better to make it harder for people to do the wrong thing than it is to do the right thing. Incentivize good behavior and try to lean into it a little bit more. Are you serious? We're definitely going with you. This Kieran kid was a champion of a super elite battle academy, right? I have got to meet him. Well, Nimona, I will just say, pat my chest a little bit. I did beat him, so keep yourself in check, please. More like I've got to battle him. Was that obvious? I feel kind of bad, though, like we just invited ourselves along on your trip without asking. No, he invited you specifically. The guy said to bring his friends, and we're those friends. He even sent tickets for us. Yep, friends. Friends equals us, ergo, we get the tickets. You bet we do. This will be my first time going on a trip with friends. It's kind of scary and exciting at the same time. Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever even taken a trip with a friend either. Yeah, none of you guys are literally sitting here just like, you know, I'm not even sure if I've ever had friends. I mean, Penny had her group, but, you know, again, I return to the terrorist claim. They quite literally ran into a school building with vehicles to terrorize other kids to the point that it became a problem. You're kidding. Well, this is going to be amazing, so get excited. Guess I better at least tell the housekeeper over at my place I'll be away for a while. Why don't we break for now and do whatever prep we gotta do? Meet up again later? Sounds good. Let's say we meet up again in front of the Mezagoza's southern gate. Roger. See y'all later then. Do I get to sleep in my home bed again? Is that going to be a part of this? Or are they going to make me go back to... They're not going to make me go back to my dorm and sleep there if I'm actively at my home right now, right? Factory reset. Now that's a good idea. Update, my sex robot is now trying to destroy mankind. You bought one of those Elon Musk ones, didn't you? By the way, I think it was Freedom Tunes had the greatest bit about those Musk robots. They're just, how do I say it? Look, I'm just gonna call it as it was, kind of labeled in the video, and don't be mad at me about the ever-changing political climate, but the idea that they were just illegal migrants that he had shoved into steel tin cans and put them in a box to be recharged at. Like, that is, when you're making political humor, that's some good funny shit. Oh, did Nimona and the others leave already? Your friends are all such such nice kids. I was really glad to meet them all. Yes, we simply had a meeting downstairs with tons of shouting. And now it sounds like you're all about to go have a little adventure together, hmm? Well, have fun if you do. No fighting. There will be a lot of fighting, and it will be school sanctioned, thank you very much. And be sure to look after one another. Before or after the fighting? Doesn't matter? Alright, so they're not really gonna... Oh god. Oh god, how do I leave my home? There we go, okay. I was like, where's the exit to my home? I've been gone for too long! We had only just moved here, and then I left for my adventure. Alright, I think that's where I'm heading. Oh, right. Don't wait, brain fried, smelling my brain cooking. The Switch 2 conversation that I wanted to go over, but now more cutscene. Over here! Alright, Ian, did you load up the travel snacks? Your bag full of grub? I grabbed literally nothing, and I jumped over here as fast as I could. Oh my gosh, Dad, would you just drop it? I told you, friends. I'm going with friends. Actual friends my age, not people I met online, not the other terrorist organization that I collaborated with. Actual friends. No, you don't need to be worried. We are perfectly capable of taking care of ourselves. Look, at least they are, and I can lean on them for support. I know I don't see the outside very much, but leave me alone, Dad. No, it's not going to be an adventure. No one says that. Honestly, I'm hanging up now. Yo, Caro, what's up? Welcome in. How have things been? I know it's been a good minute since we stopped in and chatted on the, geez, my brain, on the Amino app. But how are things going? Hopefully things are going well. Fill me in. What's going on with Monster, by the way? Apparently the Switch 2 fixed a lot of the problems with the game. Admittedly, that annoys me because the problems are still on the Switch 1. I agree, especially because the game originally launched on the Switch 1 and came out for so long. And there's actually a lot of just general performance they could squeeze out of it by trying to refine a little bit. The fact that they haven't, and they're just selling it all as an update on the Switch 2, and they're not giving the basics that could be applied to the Switch 1 to Switch 1 owners, that does bug the hell out of me. To Penny's credit, she did get recruited by the government. No, yeah, she's got skills, but, you know, she did use that skill set for actual terrorism and then was brought in for beneficial applications. Yeah, I bet YouTube does hate that. They do not like referencing particular individuals, and good job on the self bypass there. Suddenly I'm too tired for any of this. Did you get your old man's okay to go? Yeah, in the end, but I had to put up with his ultra mega annoying dad talk to do it. Look, at least yet again, I'm gonna return to Arvin here. At least you have a dad. I'm gonna return to our character. At least you have a dad. He just ultra mega cares, little bud. Yeah, maybe you're right, and it can't possibly have anything to do with the fact that I find it weird that you're doing the exact same thing he would do. Well, we've all got permission, and we're all here. No one forgot anything, right? Then vamos, let's go. So, what I want to say on the Switch 2, and I'm probably just going to let the story run in the background because I do want to say this and not forget it, is I've made it fairly clear and obvious my problems and complaints with the direction Nintendo's going, primarily in regards to ownership of what you buy. They're like really restricting the console. Again, the questions had about whether or not you own what you buy. They're leaning into and pushing regarding the game key cards for third-party developers, which does bug the ever-loving hell out of me as someone who has a massive catalog of third-party games, and the disappointment that that brings with it. By the way, the issue with these things is not whether or not I have the game, in that sense, because once the servers shut down, it doesn't matter if it's not already installed on my system. Then none of that matters because I'm not going to be able to get it back. So that's the issue there. Meanwhile, with a lot of these, I've actually talked about the fact that it's interesting and surprising to me that there's a lot of games that are totally perfectly playable on the Switch right out of the gate. Even fairly well to completion. I returned to some of the Kirby games on the example for that. Sorry, having to grab a drink there. So yeah, I've got a lot of those issues. Like I can rattle off a lot about my issues on the Switch too, but I've given it a lot of thought and my consideration as to whether or not I would get one. And right now my stance is no. and I'm firmly well planted on that no. However, I can absolutely see a direction for Nintendo to make some changes, for me, of all people, to get back on board, despite the unfortunate reality of some of the things being as they are that will likely not change. Number one, they do some updates to the system again. And I know that sounds really absurd. Didn't they just release a more powerful system? Yes, but they also have some big problems. They have not corrected the issue regarding the Joy-Con manufacturing, and they went from having an OLED screen to a non-OLED screen. That is, in a lot of ways, on color balance and things, that is a step down in terms of the quality of the console. However, I'm going to be honest, I really more so care about the Joy-Con than I do the screen, because I play primarily with the system docked. Monster's doing good, glad to hear. And hopefully all things are going well between the two of you. There have been some updates, but I'd rather probably say to check in on Amino and talk with you on some of that, because they're a little bit more personal on some elements of it, and I'm not sure how much I want to get out there fully and opened. But, you know, there are some things I would like to talk with you guys, more so in reference to the direction I'm going, and some questions that I have with how things have been for you guys. So hopefully you don't mind that too much. Though, to clarify, I'd still get a Switch 2 myself. Yeah, I'm in the position where right now I wouldn't, but again, I'll get further into it. But I want to dive into some more of the story here. I sat on one screen for far too long. You smell that, right? It kind of smells different than Paldea. My head's still spinning too fast. See anything? Are we there yet? Maybe you wouldn't have gotten so car sick if you hadn't stared at your phone the whole bus ride. But I didn't know if we'd get a signal here. I had to load up on the internet goodies while I could. Why, hello there. Hiya. Hiya indeed. I'm the caretaker here, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to our town. Kieran had mentioned you all would be coming. Ian aside, this is everyone's first time visiting Kitakami, is that right? I'm fairly sure that is true. But yeah, some of the things I haven't seen regarding the supposed fixes that are going on with the Switch 2 on this game in particular, but some other ones, is I have noticed that there is a prominent issue with the pop-in as scenes change, and there's kind of a developed reason as to how and why that happens, if you look into how games load their data and the way that these scenes play out. But that is tied to some problems in development, the programming side, and the order of operations on some things as well. And simply having something with more raw power doesn't necessarily fix all of them. So I'm wondering if some of those situations are actually fixed, or if, and hear me out, this is just speculation and it is a little pessimistic, but a large portion of people that have their hands on a Switch 2 right now are going through a couple of things that I have questions about. There is a thing that happens where people try to justify expensive costs, and I see some of that regarding this. Mind you, it's not to say people aren't having fun, but it does seem like there is a weird uptick in people self-overselling. Here's the thing. I have seen a lot of people massively gassing the Switch 2, and the only game that they ended up getting for it so far is whatever is going to be available for the online pack, if assuming they're paying for it. But a lot of these people, as far as the Switch 2 specific games that they're playing, that they talk about, is Mario Kart. Which, don't get me wrong, Mario Kart's great. Mario Kart is going to be what it's going to be. But in a way, this is kind of on par with saying, hey, I spent, what's the console worth with Mario Kart if you get the bundle, $500? I spent $500 to play Mario Kart. And while that's going to be a good game and you're going to have a lot of your costs that are going to come down the line as things come out, there does seem to be a weird level of over-gassing on the console that I'm noticing. And I just think that that's because it's the new hotness, and you do have the debate back and forth between a lot of people getting pissy about it, and all of that. There's a lot of that goes into play with it, but I think that's one thing that is happening a fair bit. There is also a lot of people that are just, there are Nintendo fans, and there's the same thing with Sony and Xbox fans and your PC guys too, but that take the weird stance of they can do no wrong. And I think that this is also something that you saw even with like the Pale World debate, in which people approached it with nuance and other people just screamed, Nintendo crush them. So you do have people doing that. Not at all. Always love talking to you. Awesome. Well, I am going to definitely make use of some questions regarding that. And I have been meaning to figure out why Amino stopped. It started working really well again, and then it stopped working again. So I have been meaning to look into figuring some of that out. Also, Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a port to there, I guess. There really aren't a lot of games for it right now. Yes, and the thing about Cyberpunk 2077 is it's getting a port over. It's digital only, which, by the way, I had something else to say on the digital cart side of things, but it's going to be, from what I understand, it's going to be digital only, or like the key card, which I don't care what anybody says, I'm calling that digital only. You're not really giving me a physical item. You're giving me a digital item with an extra step to make me lie to myself, and it's really still just a digital item. Anyways, as I was saying, it is a fairly old game, and I question what it is they're going to be doing for that, because there's a lot of rumors going around about Cyberpunk getting a big update too. Despite its age, supposedly people are still working on it, and there was even changes made to the Steam page recently that is backing the idea that for whatever reason, they are getting ready to do a relatively sizable dump of something meaningful enough to justify certain updates to various informations on it. And I don't know what that's going to look like if they do that for the supposed Switch release that's coming out. Because we know the issues that the game launched with, and we know the demands it has, but they've done a lot of cleanup, and they're bringing more out. There's just a lot of questions regarding that one for me, but I'm sure the base game they're going to be able to refine out, and I don't know if they're going to get it to run at a full 60, but we'll see. We'll find out. The key card is like the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy I got on the Switch 1, forces me to have to... Yeah, no, games did that, but they advertise and claim it, and it was the rare exception to the things, and it was largely about volume fitting on a Switch card. These things are not doing that because you have some very small third-party developed games that are still getting a Switch key card release just because it's cheaper that way, and therefore screwing people out of the option to get physical. If your game quite literally can't fit the entirety of it on the game card, then I understand doing it that way. You are limited by the physical media of the material here. You are not in many of these cases with these key cards, and the key cards are just a greedy element to further strip away actual ownership from people. So I return to, this is Nintendo incentivizing for these other developers further avenue of the classic now adage of you will own nothing and you will be happy. But yeah, so that's I think it's the same way with the Spyro trilogy as well. You bought that, and you got the original Spyro game on the system, or on the what you bought. But then you had to download the extra games that were part of the Spyro trilogy. And for all I know, they might have done that with the Crash Bandicoot game as well. I didn't buy that one on a console. So, like, it's happened before, but it was the rare exception, and it had reasons for the application based on card size and availability of what was coming out. Now it's just, we want to do it this way because big money Mr. Krabs rubbing them red, those meaty claws together. But yeah, the element there is, there are some games where the situation is such that when you put the card in, yeah, in order to have a better experience, you have to download the updates. But the other thing here is your space saving potential by having physical cards that way as well. If you have the full game on your card and then you download the updates, you're really only putting the updates on your system plus your save file and maybe some general system data. But you're actually still able to play most of the game with what you are able to play more games on your size requirements than you would be having to download the entire game, plus the patches, plus plus all of that other stuff. So having a physical library is also a good way to stretch your storage out a fair bit. And given that Nintendo has switched over to a certain micro SD requirement, they're actually making that more expensive to upgrade as well. And from what I understand, they are still limiting the on-system memory. I believe that there are still ways for you to upgrade your physical hard drive space on a PlayStation 5. Hey, if you wanna have more storage than what we have as a base option, you can buy a compatible SSD from some other manufacturer for whatever you want to pay for whatever size volume that you want. You can install it in the system and then it'll still work. From what I understand, there are still people that are doing that on the regular. You can't do that on the Switch. You've only got the SD cards and that's the only option. And from there, you've got to deal with, all of these digital games that you're going to be having on there if you want to keep a living library that goes beyond the lifetime of the Switch. Honestly, I think they just should have put 3 cards in the game because they're done with the Xbox game discs before. And I think the Danganronpa collection on the Switch as well. I'm not disagreeing with you. And this is one of the things that when Nintendo came out and said that they were going to take a certain avenue with it, I was actually supporting the idea. I was not happy with it because it meant I was going to pay more, but I was supporting the idea and the understanding. When they came out and said, hey, there might be an upcharge for the physical games, and they had talked something about the idea of some games being $80, and then there was talk. Now, I know that no game has come out like this yet, but they did talk about the potential premise of some games being as much as $90 for a physical release. Now, from what I understand, they actually haven't released anything like that, but there was a talking point like that they had said regarding that you would be paying more for a physical release of some things, and I think they even do that now with like a $10 upcharge, like it's $70 for digital and $80 for... I get that, I understand that. Now, whether or not the game is worth the $70 or $80 is a different story, but I get that and I understand a lot of that. And I actually am willing to pay that more for the premium of being able to have the full physical. The problem I have is when you charge me that for a physical that isn't physical. That is like selling to me on a false premise, or at least trying to placate me with a lie, and I don't like that. That's just bad customer PR relevancy in my world. Alright, so we're all going to go meet our friend Kieran. But anyways, like I was saying, is there are things for the Switch 2 that I have some interest in. Whoops. That would be things for me to consider for getting the console. Obviously, I am excited for the GameCube release of the digital library that they're giving, because I do actually play those games that I get with the subscription on the Switch. I like having them available in the way that they deliver it, and I like some of the luxuries that it grants me. You know, the save states, for example, is a big deal, especially with RPGs that traditionally have set save locations. Being able to save state what I'm playing is huge. So, I make use of that. And I would do that with the GameCube very likely as well. when they put those out on it. Obviously, there are going to be games that I'm going to want to play, and if they only have a Switch 2 release, I'm going to be kind of up shit creek without a paddle regarding that. The new Pokemon games, as long as they have a Switch 1 release, I might buy the Switch 1 for now, and hey, if I do get a Switch 2, the beautiful thing that they do have is the option to just pay that upcharge fee for the ones that I want to go back and experience on the Switch 2. I can pay the upgrade fee, and I can get that feature. That I like. I support the idea of that. So if I get a Switch 2, that would be the kind of things I'd be going for right now. Is if I were to get one right now, it would be to be able to pump up the games that I do like and that I do play. But really, that's all I get out of it. I'm not a Mario Kart fan. I wouldn't even be buying the new Mario Kart. So right now, they really don't have anything available for me that's kind of a must buy. Obviously, I'm going to be a big fan of Metroid when they release the new Metroid games. There is also going to be the new Fire Emblem when that comes out. That's going to be a factor. There are Nintendo games that I love and adore that would inch me towards that decision as more becomes available. But, like, right now, it is just what they've done and what they're offering is too much of a slap in the face and not enough follow-up goodies to really say anything good for what I'd be looking at. I can also see that there are conversations going on that YouTube has stopped on, so let me back up here. I want to play Spiral so bad right now. Oh, Spyro! Yo, Spyro is very good. That was one of the ones I was mentioning earlier. But yeah, no, Spyro the Dragon is just generally classic 90s nostalgia game personified. By the way, the Gex series is getting a release as well. I don't know if the digital is available already, but I know that Limited Run Games is doing some big physical push for those for the limited run game release of it that I have considered getting, because again, Gex is much in that same vein of the style and type of game that Spyro was, the adventure collectathon style. But it had its own 90s era Bart Simpson-esque cool kid factor applied to it, and I was a big fan of those and things that I would look at getting. Those are ones that I'm considering picking up. Apparently these upgrade versions don't have a fee for most of the... Yo, I didn't know that. The graphical upgrades to Scarlet and Violet is free once you have the Switch 2 if you own the game on Switch. That I did not know, and that is, you know, even more the goodies for that, but again, those only supplement the Switch 2 purchase by way of what you already have. They are not really offering new. You know, it's not a new game, it's not a new experience. It is a polished experience that I've largely already had and would only be applicable for massive games that I'm still actively playing to that degree. So given that I am still working my way through Scarlet and Violet, I suppose that could apply to me if that was going to be a major selling point, but you know, for me it really isn't. I have heard that it makes shiny hunting easier though. You get a lot more Pokemon on the field. Sorry that I couldn't keep... Okay, so I'm going to get back into the story here now that I have largely exhausted my rant there and my discussion regarding the Switch 2 and the fact that, yes, I have problems. Yes, I'm going to be vocal about my problems, but I'm trying to realize, you know, that, look, people are going to have fun, and like that's not ever been my issue. I knew full well the games were going to be fun. The console was going to be enjoyable for a lot of people. But I don't see it there yet. Obviously, it's going to get there. The Switch was massive, and Nintendo brings their own quality to anything they bring out, literally to the point where, as much as people crap on and talk about the failure that was the Wii U, I still look back at the Wii U and I say, look, by the time it was at the end of its life, I had gotten my enjoyment out of it, and I liked it well enough. So, like, the Switch 2 is going to achieve that. I pretty much guarantee that. The situation I'm in is it's just not there yet as far as I can see it. And then for me personally, I have these issues that they need to overcome to get someone like me as a customer either by doing better or offering just so fucking much that it's just like, fine, I'll swallow the nasty pill. Sorry that I couldn't come meet you at the bus stop. Things have been crazy at home. You're telling me I had people swooning over my mother for a weird amount of time. But it's great to see you. Thanks. But wait, did you come all by yourself? Meet my friends. These are the ones that were thirsting over my mother. Yo, we're here too. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Nimona. You're Kieran, right? The one that's really good at battling? Ian has told us all about you. Like, I knew it was coming. Well, I don't know about that, but, dial it back a notch. Or 9. You're scaring him. I'm Penny. Unlike a certain someone, I'm fine with taking friendships nice and slow. Just careful giving me access to a computer. And I'm Arvin, Ian's absolute best friend. And I suffer from childhood trauma around my parents both being dead. Well, staking your claim right from the get-go, huh? Well, I'm Kieran, and I met Ian when he came here for a school trip. That's when we became friends. What else? Oh, I'm a student of Blueberry Academy. I was? I'm on break right now. Whoa, really? I know how that goes. Same thing happened to me. Penny, don't go sympathizing with the enemy. I thought I could count on you at least to keep the interloper at arm's length. I just get the feeling that we're pretty alike, you know. The emotional snapping and slipping into terrorism. Wow, your friends seem like a quirky group. Kinda like you, huh? Anyways, a friend of Ian's is a friend of mine. I hope you all have a good time staying at Kitakami. Thanks, now let's battle! Jump right into it! What? That space in front of the community center. Looks like a good battle spot. Let's go, now! God, I love her! Does she want me to go with her? Am I supposed to go battle her? Go have fun. Man, she's as pushy as Sis is, but, like, different. I think I might have made a terrible mistake. This Kieran kid might actually be a good guy. Of course he is. He's friends with Ian. Yeah, that's true. I'm new, but I'm one who thinks that Carmen is fine. Look, I am not gonna say anything one way or the other, but there are running gags within the group dynamic of this game and my playing through of it. So, that certainly plays into the continuing trade-offs that we have going on here. Anyways, welcome in. Welcome in, Bryant. Great to have you. How are things going? Hopefully, things are going well. Where is she? There we go. Ran right past him. Okay. Kieran, you got this? There we go. Knew one of them was going to trigger it. I got completely destroyed. Who the heck is Nimona anyways? There are layers to answering that, but let's go with rival. You consider her a rival? Yeah, it makes sense that she's so good then. Kieran, you're so good! That was awesome! No wonder you're the champion of that fancy pants school of whatever. But I couldn't beat you. Does it really matter whether you win or lose? Pokemon battles are a blast! Everybody loves dogfighting! Yeah, that's true. That's Nimona for you. You get used to it. You okay? Feel like running for the hills yet? Also, Kaizaki, welcome to the stream. Hopefully things are going well for you. Yeah. Hey. Not at all. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I really had a lot of fun. See? And here we go. What's... Yo, who the heck are you? Sis, you okay? Okay, I'm just gonna say it though, like, the purple eyes, I'm absolutely digging it. Mochi Mochi! Wait. Anyone's a banana. What's going on? Is that your big sister, Kieran? Whoa, Kieran, you're, look, it is kind of weird that everyone's animation is absolutely tied right to her flapping of the arms, but you know, it is what it is. Do you think she wants in on the battle fun too? There's no way that's what's going on here. Sorry, everybody. Could you help me just, carry her somewhere safe? You want us to pick her up and drag her off? I mean, look, if you're given the okay. I love that Armin's just like, wait, you mean I get to... You're giving me the okay to just get my hands on her. Well... Pokemon, where the puppies can punch you harder than you can punch them. I don't know, I have seen the Pokemon anime, and I know for a fact Ash is walking around with some crazy superhuman strength. I mean, the motherfucker tried to Mega Punch Mewtwo in a movie, so, you know. You sure you don't want to stay with your sister? She should be okay. Gramps and Grandma look after her during the day, but her eyes off of her for just a second earlier. Sorry for making you all help out with that. Oh, I mean, it was no big deal. Happy to help out. But yeah, I gotta ask, is everything okay with your sister? She seemed pretty, but so this is everybody else's first interaction with Carmen here. And they are really trying to just, like, bypass the idea of dropping the R word, because that is kind of the implication I think they're going for here. She's not usually like that. Oh, thank God. I think she was just really excited to get to meet you all. You really think that's what that was? Yeah, that's gotta be why she's dancing that weird dance and screaming Mochi. Oh my God, whoa! I just had a weird unlocking moment in my brain. Does anybody else remember? So, there was a re-release of, like, the Monster Rancher games that came out recently-ish, you know, put some air quotes. I think it's a couple years old now, Monster Rancher 1 and 2. But the old Monster Rancher games on the, I think it was the PlayStation, came out, and there was an anime tied to it as well. And there was a little pink blob creature, I don't know how to describe it other than a pink blob duck creature with an armadillo shell. That was named Mochi, and I don't know why this game just, like, unlocked that part of my brain. By the way, the old Monster Rancher games, not just the Monster Rancher raising monster games, but there are some really good ones back then. I remembered really enjoying. There was a deck builder card battle Monster Rancher game where you made a party of 3 monsters from the Monster Rancher verse based on what you had unlocked and gained access to, and it was one of those very Pokemon dungeon-esque games where like the map changed every time you went in. I'm fairly certain that's what it was. But it was, you built a deck and you went in with your monsters and you had a deck battle system and you could buy like some items. That game was so much fucking fun. Wow, that Pokemon just dragged me all the way back to that. By the way, that game, if you're curious, I don't recall its actual title, but it was a Game Boy Color game. So I'm sure by looking up that, you would probably be able to find it, but man, that was weird. I hope that was my internet. Did anyone else have a problem just now? I hope that wasn't me. I do know that there was a serious internet issue going on earlier, and on the Discord, a lot of it was cataloged as it was going on. So if you're interested in what was going on, there is a little bit of information on there. But I knew that that was going to be an issue going into the stream today because a lot of that stuff is going to have probably some kinks to be ironed out as things go along for a good bit. How long has she been doing that? I mean, she's been like that since I sent you that letter, Ian. She was already dancing and all by the time I woke up the next day. No explanation. I guess that really isn't normal, is it? Maybe the other folks in town are right. Maybe it really is a curse. Wait, hold up. A curse. Whoa, this trip just took a real sudden dive into horror movie territory. I know zilch about curses, but could something like this have happened before? You ever heard any old stories or legends? I don't know, Ian already took care of the whole thing with Ogrepon and the Loyal Three. Sheesh, Ian, you really just rolled on through this town like a little hurricane, didn't you? My sis may have no filter and be inconsiderate. No, actually, that's one of the things about her I really like, is she's just like, yo, the anti-filter. Tell me to it straight, I like that. My sis may have no filter and be inconsiderate and push people's buttons, but I'd still rather see her be her old self than whatever this is. Yeah, for sure. If there's anything you think we can do to help, just say the word. Sure, we'll help you out. I definitely don't believe in horror movie tropes like curses anyways. Yeah, let's do this. If we get to battle a curse... Do I get to fight the curse in a Pokemon battle? Fuck it, I'm in. You guys sure you don't mind? Yeah, friends help one another, something, something, something. Ian, no. All of you, thank you. It's too late to start today, but I'd be real grateful if you all could help me out tomorrow. First, we're going to have a proper welcome party tonight at the community center. Let's do it! Everyone hyping up for helping each other out. There we go. There we go. I was going to say, I can't ride Koraidon? Alright, I think the community center was in here. I think that's what this was. It's been a long time since we've been here. Not as long as it has been since we've been home, but I think it's been a good long while since we've been in here. That's about every party I've ever been to. Just a bunch of people standing around nodding their head. I got some soda. Sugar and carbonation. My two love languages. You find Peachy's alright? Yeah, no problem. It's close by. There was nobody there, so I just kind of left money on the counter. Do you think that was okay? Yeah, the old lady who runs it steps away sometimes, so everybody does that. No worries. Man, I can't imagine anyone getting away with that back in Paldea. You know, fair enough. That is one of those things that the area I'm at right now, you could actually run into that a couple of places, and people would do that. That said, I am also still close enough to some other areas where that wouldn't happen, so, you know, that there could be some bleed over for some issues, but like where I'm at now in life is comfortable in so much as there actually is a little bit of some degree of an attempt at community sticking out for each other. That said, I have definitely grown up in some places where if you stepped away from your counter, you are drawing down some iron bars when you step away. Like that would not work in a lot of places. Nimona, I heard cancer is pretty strong. Let me battle it. Nimona would be sending her Pokemon out to have one-on-ones with Goku. Nimona is the Goku of this universe. And oddly enough, she makes it even more endearing than Goku does, and that says something because that is Goku's entire personality, and everybody loves him for it. Wait, Nimona, what's all over your mouth? Were you eating snacks without us? When I see a help yourself sign, I don't ignore it. There was just one mochi left, though. She's gonna go through it, too. The game is taking the characters from me that are part of my grown community! Hey, Kieran, do you have any idea how to change this channel on this TV? It just keeps playing this. It's just the tourism video over and over. I'm sorry, it's a limitation of our console. It just does what it does. Oh, the caretaker hid the remote somewhere, so that video is all we get on the TV. Okay, crew, new goal. Find the clicker so we can all watch a movie or something. It's got to be around here somewhere, right? We just need to find it. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Time to search this place from top to bottom. Then I vote we play games on the big screen. Okay, I have got to say this again. I don't know if I've shared this story before. I'm sure I probably have. Growing up, I had a couple of friends their parents did some fun, interesting things. One of them was in charge of I don't remember if they were the owner or what it was, but of a movie theater that is unfortunately long since closed, shuttered, and torn down. But I have clear, vivid memories of being able to hook up on the projection system that they had there. I don't necessarily know too much about how it worked because I wasn't the one who set it up, but they had bypassed it to run, I think it was a GameCube off of it. And so we were projecting the GameCube onto the theater screen, and a bunch of us were just like, we had the old Wavebird controllers, and we were just playing games on a big theater screen, and God, that was some stupid fun. Is it Monster Rancher Battle Card? I would absolutely assume that to be the game. Let me look this up here. Monster Rancher Battle Card GB, and apparently there was an episode 2 that came out for the PlayStation. I am gonna have to figure out where to get that. But yes, that was the game. And one of the things I remember about it distinctly is it was very similar to a basic modern... Card battle games are pretty old, but they all go back to around that generation. It was one of those earlier card battle game systems, and it did it really well, and it even allowed you to build combo systems. I recall this, I might be wrong, that they allowed you to build combo systems into your deck to get even more out of the card cost than what you were spending for the basics of the card. There was a fair bit of strategy. Some creatures were heavily physical, other ones did like buffs and debuffs, status ailments and all of that. And it was a really interesting battle system. And again, I am kind of just going off of memory, but even if you found creatures that you liked that were part of your team, there were like modified versions or something like that, and you could make them stronger. There were stat layouts for the actual base monster. They had like a unique health pool from creature to creature and all of that. There was just a lot that went into it that was rather unique and interesting for the time, and definitely something I'd recommend checking out. Monster Rancher, not to be confused with Demon Ketchuper. That would be the Demi Kids game. That would be probably a pretty good strategy to refer to that one. You had Demon Kids Ketchup and Mustard Edition. It's like our own little treasure hunt. Everyone grab a corner and start searching. I'm good. I would frankly love to watch something on this TV that isn't the same showcasing over and over again. How about this then? Let's say whoever finds the remote gets to decide what we do. Wait. I'm on board with playing games. Like, can I like collaborate with somebody here? There's no fucking way I pick a random ass direction and go and find it. What? No way. That means you get to choose. I literally just picked a direction. Wowzers. Of course you'd find it first, Ian. Hey, friend, you agree with me that we should use that big old screen to play games, right? I can't believe I'm agreeing with the terrorist. Where'd Nimona go off to? She in the bathroom or something? No, I was checking around earlier. I'm pretty sure I would have seen her go in. She didn't head into the rooms in the back either. I was by the door at the hallway the whole time. I think I know what's going on. She must be waiting to jump out and scare us. I tried her phone, but she's not picking up. You tried calling her? No, clearly she's texting. I didn't hear her phone go off or anything. That's weird. That is weird. So, does that help us figure out where she is? Well, it helps us figure out where she isn't. Yeah, she's not here at least. Maybe she was so set on finding that remote that she went outdoors to look for it. I guess that'd make sense. Maybe she forgot something at the shop. Also plausible. I hope she didn't go out of town. Kitakami's dangerous at night if you don't know your way around. I think Ian and I should go look outside. Arvin, Penny, can you stay here for now? What? But what if she comes back while we're all out? You have a better chance of finding her if you stay here, and you can call us if she does. That's true. Alright, be careful out there. It is weird how big his mouth got for that. Like that, is that just a weird angle, or is it really just, does that happen and I just didn't pay attention before? We'll hold down the fort till you get back. Let's go, Ian. She is absolutely doing the crazed mochi dance, isn't she? Oh, God. Oh, that's a callback. Just don't take Penny to see any Batman movies. God, that is a crazy story. There's still some people out. It's hard to tell with the sun down, but I think those two are workers from the orchard? Why don't we go ask them if they've seen Nimona? Literally gonna make me run over here for it. You couldn't just play the cutscene continuously? Excuse us? Hello? Something's off about them. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be the, like, forever yard stare, the purple eyes, the lack of responsiveness. Mochi. Mochi. Mochi? Mochi. It is a weird thing to hear somebody shout out of the blue like that, like dead serious. What's going on? what this is kind of the equivalent like to me, and I'm thinking from the American point of view, right? My terrible American brain is looking at this and just being like, this is on par with people acting this way, turning to you in this zombified demon state, and then screaming donut. Also, I did swap out some Pokemon just to get a little bit more of a, I think of a, we'll get rid of the Salazzle first. Trying to play into a little bit of a different layup for the party dynamic, just to force me to put some different Pokemon on the field. I kind of figured that was going to happen, but I didn't want to do the swap out and deal with it either. What's with them all of a sudden? Why are they attacking us? Well, you were a little outsped, but thank you for that. Alright, well, you know, the sticky web helps. Let's swap over to Talonflame. You took out my bug with fire, I will return for the same. And I'm going to be safe off from the extra Victory Bell play-in here. Wasn't quite enough to do the job, but, you know, it's better than nothing. God, it really is. There is something actually, like, creepy weird about that. Alright, let's see if we can't drop both of them here. Deal with two threats at once. The paralysis might be an issue. Yo, take the avoidance. I'm going to run with that. Alright, Noctowl is a good follow-up. Poliwrath, I think the Ice Punch would still be pretty effective, but I'll deal with the Victory Bell and hopefully not end up paralyzed. I think Noctowl, if it's going to have a threat for me, it's going to be putting me to sleep. Smokers, when they don't have any money to buy cigarettes, be like, you know? God damn, you're right. There we go. The Ice Punch did the job. With a critical hit. Nice. Everyone's got the sad mochi now. That scared the snot out of me. What's gotten into them? They were perfectly fine when I saw them yesterday. Well, yeah, so was your sister before you sent a letter. And we have yet to verify, but, you know, I feel like we're going to have another issue with that one. They were acting like Carmen! The curse! The curse! Oh, you're right. The weird dancing and yelling, it's what my sis was doing. Did these two get wrapped up in the whole curse thing, too? Man, I can't believe Nimona vanished at a time like this. We could really use her help. Well, speak of the devil, and she shall come. I assume running after the mochi issue. Sure looked like her. She ran off toward Kitakami Hall. Why? Come on, we should go after her. Absolutely can do. By the way, is Galvantula back? Galvantula is back. Let's, there we go. Let's throw Talonflame up front. There we go. I knew there was a big sprint button again. It has been too long since I have made effective use of, oh, wait, item. I want the item. Thank you. Ran right into the hoot hoot. Not really looking to deal with you, but thank you for playing. Let's keep making our way up towards... I think the hall was up this way. I probably could fast travel to it, but... I don't know. I kind of want to take the drive up there. Well, we've got a few more crazies. Oh! Well! I feel like a right asshole now. Hello there, Kieran, and you too, Ian. Grandpa, Grandma, what are you both doing here? Is Carmen okay? And did you see some girl come by here? Slow down, Kieran. One question at a time. Carmen is at home, sleeping in her room. She must have tuckered herself out with all that dancing. Whew, so she's safe at least. We thought we'd step out while she slept to get some of our favorite noodles from the stall here, and a taste of her favorite food might help her snap out of whatever's gotten into her. Yeah, I hope so. Good thinking, Grandpa. Now, about what you were asking about, some girl coming this way? Oh, right, everyone in town is acting all weird. Kinda like she is, but, you know, a little bit different, and by that I mean exactly the same. And one of the girls who came here from Paldea went missing. She's wearing a school She's loud and full of energy. That's the descriptor right there. Well, now that you mention it, we did run into a rather boisterous stranger in the village earlier. You spoke with her, dear. What did she say? Dearest? No! Have some mochi. I don't need any mochi at the moment. Dear, have some mochi. Eat the mochi. Grandma? Yeah, this is honestly, when it was everybody just dancing and screaming mochi, that was infinitely less creepy than a loved one clearly possessed trying to push that influence further onto you. This is awfully sudden, dear, but I suppose if you insist. By the way, I said donuts earlier, and the fuck are they doing putting the donuts as a fucking, the mochi as a fucking donut? Alright, I've had some mochi, dear. Now, can we get back to the question? Grandpa, you okay? Oh god, it's spreading. Wait, do we have to fight the grandparents now? You've got to be kidding me. Well, that's absolutely what's going on here. Congratulations, fight old people in a dog fight. Yo, but the Arbuck! You know I love seeing my little snake boys coming in. I think I mentioned before when we ran across an Ekans for the first time, all the way back when I first got to this area. I was super excited to be able to have an Arbuck again. I would have one in my party right now if I had one at a high enough level to be of use. 4Kids censorship in reverse. I think given the trade-off here, I am going to swap into Mimikyu for the Shadow Claw. Let's see if I can make that work out for me. I don't know if I ever said it, but Mimiru is one of the names of a character from the Dot Hack franchise. And that is the origin of my appreciation for that name. I believe she is the Black Rose visual tie-in. That was a weird animation. For the Dot Hack Sign anime. Alright, let's pop that Shadow Claw. You bastard! You bitch! Fuck you! You big giga bitch! Read that damn perfect. Alright, let's see you do it again. I will say I'm not hating on the song though. Kinda got the head moving. Oh god. It's hitting us with a gunk shot. Terribly named move for the potential element of the visual display there. God damn, the back-to-back criticals though. Mimiru came in here swinging. Oh man, why does this have to happen? I guess we've got no choice but to beat him. No choice but to beat up my grandparents. Okay, that's gonna hurt though. Yeah, that one kinda hurt. Alright, let's swap back into... Grandma, what's gotten into you? Let's swap back over to Talonflame. Although I don't think we're going to even get a turn here. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. No, follow up. Secondary Pokemon. We still good. Alright, I wanted to check on that, but I'm going to take on Weezing because I think Mamoswine is going to be going out here. I hope they... Yeah, thank you. Make good use of that. Hey, congratulations, Rigid, on hitting level 100, though. Maximum level rat power. Let's swap it over to hitting him with that Steel Wing. I think Steel Wing has a chance to lower defense. I didn't even read it. I seem to recall that being a possible effect, and that's what I was hoping for there. But we didn't get it, so I'm just going to continue on with the stab bonus for the damage. Get whatever I can out of it, because this should be the end of it about here. God damn it, one more. I was so confident in that statement, too. Well, at least he comes out with his ace in the hole. Hydrapple is so fun. I do have to give it to him. Hydrapple was just a fun additional evolution line. Alright, Gramps, are we done? Can I stop fighting old people yet? Eat the mochi. Mochi mochi. Oh man, no way. Gramps and Grandma too, everyone is losing it. It's just a matter of time until it gets me! I'm gonna end up like the rest of them! Nope, let him have his panic attack. He's done it before. Just let him work it out. Sorry. I kind of panicked there. Thanks, Ian. You just saying a few things that had nothing to do with anything that would actually help in the scenario managed to calm me down from the brink of a panic attack that is rather justified given what we've seen so far. Before Gramps started acting like Carmen, he ate some of that weird mochi. Yeah, why did that mochi happen to look like a donut? Rototototo! Ian, how you doing out there? You okay? I don't feel comfortable answering that question. How are you two? We're fine over here, though Penny got herself all spooked and has been kind of a mess. We got worried because we hadn't heard from you guys in a while, so we decided to step outside. And things are weird out here, little buddy. We were attacked by all the folks shouting "Mochi Mochi" at us, and we couldn't spot you. So I was beginning to fear the worst. We're holding tight by that Peachy's place at the moment, but there's something there. Arvin! Penny, what? What's wrong? You two okay? Come on, big smiles, right? Oh, crud, this does not look good. I was gonna say, there was a weird visual glitch on my character there. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that made it seem real ominous. Like Kieran's in the background just like, yeah, this sucks. And my character's like, they were eaten. Kieran, you fuck, that was disgusting. How are you not reacting so terribly? Something must have gotten him. Grandma, Grandpa, I'll be back, so don't go anywhere. I still want to find Nimona, but we gotta get back to Peachy's and check on Arvin and Penny. Come on. Yeah, now that we've made all of this progress back up here, let's backtrack for something that we already know has gone to hell in a handbasket. We could pick the direction that lets us start trying to solve things, or let's go back and solve absolutely nothing. I like that plan. I could run back and pick up those items, but I've learned my lesson last time. The items do not want to be grabbed. I need a sound clip of you reading out the Rotom phone sound. I unironically make that my ringtone. Ro-to-to-to-to. Good luck getting the sound clip, but there you go. That's fairly clean of a lot of other potential issues to it. Arvin, Penny, there you guys are. Is it just me or are Penny's eyes a little more lavender than they usually are? You're both, air quotes, okay. Yeah, sorry about hanging up on you like that. Probably gave you the wrong impression. Yeah, totally didn't just pull us from the progress we were trying to make here. It was all Penny's fault. She went into a full panic mode and she ran right smack into me. So I dropped my phone. Oh, thank God, they're not purple yet. Can you blame me? Look at the people in this town. Something's seriously wrong with them. Never mind whatever that weird thing was. Weird thing? What weird thing? It was like round and a little and weird. It was little, round, and weird. Like a Voltorb made out of wood. It was unnatural. And just where is this little hallucination of yours? You sure you weren't just seeing stuff? It was real. I really saw it. Sure you did. God, there's people screaming the Mochi dance even in the background. I think I might have figured out why everyone is acting so strange. Until we knew for sure, though, maybe we should... Whoa! Okay, heads up, guys. There is something up there. You're welcome, Rigid. Let me know if it actually goes out fairly well. I think you're able to put soundboards onto like the media tab in the Discord. Is that a Pokemon? Okay, look, say what you will about... Yo, them dodging, though. That dodge skill. Unironically, though, if you're gonna get possessed by something, free delicious mochi is a pretty decent way to go about it. No, don't eat those! Ignore the fact that I'm waiting until it's already not only in your mouth, but down your throat to speak up. You know, I gotta say, having a mochi-based attack is kind of cool. And I wonder if, hear me out, after you deal with whatever this issue is, does that mochi, like, can the creature create the, which one do I scream about? Not the terrorist, Arvin! Is Arvin embarrassed? But more importantly, I'm so sorry. If only I'd managed to warn them in time. But yeah, I wonder if it could just like not, if it can make the mochi attack and not have the like mind control aspect to it. Because that's just a good survival thing. Like that's just a thing to have on hand when you're out adventuring in this world. That's right up there with, oh, Peach Chopped. If you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, there's like a good berry spell, and it creates a bunch of berries that are good for like a whole day's. They're like the berry version of sensu beans. They fill you up for a day, and I think they even heal you a little bit. But yeah, they're just a great item to have if you're in a forced survival scenario, or a great spell to have. Because again, it's emergency rations on hand for, I think it's a full day. Hey, no fair. The jerk's using them as a shield. We gotta find some way to get the two of them to calm down. Well, we could always battle them. That would certainly calm Nimona down. Oh, wait, hold on. Here's a brilliant idea. Well, apparently I can't just walk around them and deal with the threat directly. The game's not happy about that. How dare I, the player, have any agency as to what's going on? I forgot Penny has all of the evolutions. Umbreon at night. This is cheating. This is hacks. You can't make me fight my favorite, or not my favorite, one of my favorite Pokemon. This is not right. God help me if she sent out an Arcanine. Well, I guess I'm going to stick with the Flame Charge. I shall deal with the preferred to fight first. Which ones do I want to hurt the least? That one sticks around longer. That one does not stick around longer. I'm sorry. I made my choice. My partner, Kieran, does not represent my views in this matter. I denounce Kieran's decision to make his first choice of violence against the only black Pokemon on the field. I'm sorry, Pokemon of color. There we go. Finally, you can swing on the important one. Although Poliwrath is kind of starting to feel the damage here. He must be close to getting cancelled for his prior decision. There we go. All it took was the equivalent of the Pokemon Classic White Girl to come in to cancel Poliwrath. Look, I said what I said, and then a Cloyster came out on the field. I have no control over what has happened here. Although the Hyper Beam did some work. Poliwrath brutality. That is actually like an ominously managed move. I kind of like how they deliver that. Alright, Mabistiff came out, dropped my attack. Kind of a good sign for me to swap over to something with a little bit more special offense. Look, I've already gone down the other avenues on the hate crime territory. Let's just go right all in and throw Trump out onto the field. Kieran already took off the bandage regarding that, so I get to just lean in all in now, and I am just going to throw him under the bus for all of it. Clearly the greater strategy. But it's okay, everybody loves puppies, and I know exactly how to play the PR scene here. Kiss the doggies. It's like the millennial version of kissing babies, right? People don't have kids anymore; they all have pets, so you can't kiss the baby, but you can kiss the dog. Just gotta make sure that the cameras are there to catch the good angle, and fabricate a fake story around it. Alright, I think Leafeon is going to be the final group. I think that gave everybody a roster of 3. Yeah, the Leaf Blade. Trying to... Look, you're really messed up here. You know, you're trying to take Trump out, and you can't hit me with a Leaf Blade. You got to go with the Bullet Seed. Otherwise, I get to have the comeback with the Secret Service icing you. There was too much good back and forth during that match. That should not have been allowed, but you know. It is what it is. I do like having the opportunity to make some banter during those longer matches. Arvin, Penny, I'm real sorry, guys. Where do you think you're going? You're next. I am going away. Alright, well, I know the direction I need to go for the story, but I am kind of out of time for tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. We will continue this next time. But, you know, I think there was a lot of good fun to be had there. A couple of good banters, a couple of good rants. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. Rigid, Caro, always great to have you stopping by here. We had a couple of new people as well. And Richard, always fun to see the regular faces. Thank you so much, everybody who stopped in. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one. And as always, bye-bye.